Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, January 31st edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. As usual, a reminder that we operate under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. At the beginning of the call here, we like to offer an opportunity for anyone on the call to introduce themselves if you would like to, totally optional. I will start it off. I'm Caslin Fields, and I am a co-lead of this subproject, which is the Contributor Comms subproject of the Special Interest Group for Contributor Experience in Open Source Kubernetes. And the purpose of this group is to make sure that folks who are contributing to Kubernetes know about what's going on in the contributor community, and also to some extent to make sure that folks outside of the contributor community know about the awesome work that contributors are doing. We do that through running social media, blog posts, various other things, which we will talk through today. Anyone else?
I can go. Hey, y'all, I'm Chris Short, also a co-lead of the comms team, longtime contributor to Kubernetes and SIG ContribEx. So anything in this SIG and maybe some others, I probably know where to find stuff. So feel free to ask. Pronouns are he, him.
Yeah, she, her. I remembered it as you started talking, which is better than
I
usual.
remembered it, which is 50-50-ish sometimes.
Would anyone else like to introduce themselves?
Hey folks, I'm Sayak, and I recently started contributing to the Kubernetes ecosystem consistently. And right now, I'm mostly focused on upgrading our websites, namely the Kates.io and Kates.dev websites. So yeah, happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. Very excited about that work.
Yeah. Especially
Anyone
after
else?
this week.
We'll
Hey
talk about
everyone.
that, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey everyone, I am Arpit and I am contributing to Kubernetes for quite a time now. And currently I am writing some blogs, so feel free to reach me out if you need help, any help in writing any kind of a blog. So yeah.
Our pit knows what's up. Definitely a good mentor for anyone who wants to know about basically anything that we do. Anyone else?
Everyone, my name is Mohit, and I'm a final year student doing major in CS, and I'm new in Kubernetes community and excited to contribute.
Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. Anyone else? All right then. A reminder that this is a very casual call. We like to just pop in and make comments, and if you missed the chance to introduce yourself earlier in the call and you decide you want to later, feel free to pop in and do it. We are just happy to have you here. One last housekeeping item. Would anyone be up for taking on the role of note taker today? So, in our meetings, we like to have someone try to follow along with the discussion and make sure that what's discussed is reflected in the notes. You don't have to do a perfect job. It's just really nice to have someone paying attention and trying to do that so that if someone after the call wants to catch up on what we talked about, they have notes to go off of. And everyone kind of chips in to help, but it's nice to have someone focusing on it. So, would anyone like to be our note taker today? All right then. I will do that. I'll just leave that there. Cool. So I think with that we can dive into it. We'll start off with messages of the week. In this section of the agenda, we discuss what's going on this week in Kubernetes so that we can attempt to create social media posts about it. Haven't been very successful in that so far this year. but I'm sure that we'll fix that. If you try anything long enough, you'll eventually get it. So I did copy over the ones from last week that are still relevant this week. Certifications prices from the CNCF are going up on February 4th. Yearly SIG reports are due in mid-February. We should send out some reminders.
Oh, yeah.
Probably not just in social media. We should also probably send out some reminders in Slack.
Mm-hmm. Ye old Slack bot. Here we come.
And on social media, yeah. Yeah, we'll discuss social media here in a bit. KubeCon EU schedule is out. That was from last week, and now the Maintainer Summit schedule is out. So we should probably post messages about both of those because I don't think we posted the KubeCon EU schedule being out. I might pop into Blue Sky here if we can. We'll see. KubeCon CFPs for Japan and China close on February 2nd, and the CFP for India closes on the 23rd of March. So definitely want to remind the community about those. We should also include the maintainer dates. I think they're the same for everything we know so far. We should check that though. Maintainer submission dates. And then GCR.io migration. We talked about that some last week. Oh, there was an email that was going to go out, and we were going to do FYI posts on social media to say, hey, there's an email, go check it out. Because in the past, the Kubernetes community has hosted a good amount of stuff on Google Container Registry because Kubernetes itself started within Google. So a lot of our initial infrastructure was based on Google stuff. And we've since kind of distributed, and we use a variety of cloud providers now. But some stuff may still be on Google Container Registry, which is a registry that Google Cloud runs that is going away and being replaced by Artifact Registry, which is more flexible. Instead of just being containers, it can hold other types of artifacts as well. So it does the same thing, but different. So there's migration. That's the background on that one. Any questions, comments, discussion about messages of the week, or any other things that folks can remember that's happening right now?
Ooh.
It's the end of January. When does the release come out? I was just thinking I need to check the release dates.
Yeah, same. Let's see.
I'm gonna try to find it now. Release date. There should be a release.
Yeah, there should be a
schedule.
schedule, something.
This is 1.32. Can I find the 1.33 info from here?
Mhm.
Not as easily as I would like.
No, sadly.
It's always a little bit of a challenge to find the release schedule. 32.
Actual date. Yeah, until it's announced, it's a little tough.
Yeah, it's
I got a
in
33 in GitHub.
Yeah, it's in GitHub
got the
somewhere.
schedule. Wednesday,
Okay.
23 April. Yeah, I got it there.
Okay.
It's not coming out till April, so we're good.
All right. I'm gonna. Where should I note that? But what
Great
about
question.
code freeze and stuff?
The schedule's all there in the summary, but code freeze starts 21 March.
Okay, not close.
No, not
Probably
yet.
nothing particularly close then that we would need to tell people about. There's a number of freezes during the release.
Mm-hmm.
Production readiness freeze is February 6th, so we might want to mention that. Enhancement freeze is February 14th on Valentine's Day.
Nice.
So there are some freezes coming up that we might want to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, at least in the LWKD context for sure, but social, yeah.
Yeah. Kubernetes release stuff. Production readiness freeze February 6th. And enhancements. Enhancements freeze is a pretty big one.
Yeah.
February 14th. So those are good to note. The reason that we started this section is for last week in Kubernetes development. So yeah, they might want to post about that. Any other stuff going on this week in the Kubernetes community that folks can think about that folks might want to know about?
Not that's on my calendar. I'm not sure we need to tell folks you're out, but
Yeah,
you know.
I was gonna do that at some point, so now it seems like a good time. Reminder, I'm out for the next 2 weeks, so
As I mentioned
so
last week, I have to put Caslin's like PTO vacation away from computer time in my calendar to remind me whatever disaster shakes loose, it's my responsibility.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. I think the only time that like was actually bad was 2023. Something happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Chicago, the
There was that.
Kubernetes Contributor Summit.
Yeah. It was. There was a disaster though. I can't remember the last disaster when you were out. Anyways.
But good luck with that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
The Karen Caslin. I'm sorry.
Good luck. And for running the meeting, Chris should still be around, but I think other folks were going to try to run those. I think we have notes. I think Arpit wanted to run one, maybe?
Yeah, Arpit is, I mean, he's
else.
here, first of all, so we could just ask, but
Hey, Arpit, you want to run the meeting next week?
Yeah, why not?
Nice.
Awesome.
All right, putting that in the notes. Is that a new item? I think that's a big win.
That's a big win. Yeah.
Yeah. Arpit running the meeting next week. Gonna leave that bolded. Love it. Also, welcome to run the one after that if no one else wants it. But I think someone else wanted it.
I know Mario was going to do one, but I don't know how beholden he is to that.
Figure it out.
I can
Yep.
also do one if needed. I think I mentioned it. Not necessarily want, it's a very strong word, but I would certainly be up for it, yes.
Figure out
I can
amongst
also
yourselves.
run one.
Who was that?
Koti. Yeah.
Koti. Welcome. Yeah, if you want to. If you want to run one, tell us. We want to encourage you and support you in doing so. I run these, but I don't have to. The running the meetings is up for grabs for anyone. Anytime, even if I am here. So make sure you show up in a couple of weeks. Let us know on Slack. Actually, you know what? If you are planning to run one, Arpit and Koti, if you want the other one, let folks know in the Slack now so that we have another record of it. The more records we have of it, the more likely it is to happen. So if you want to have it, say it. Cool. Any other stuff that's going on while I'm out that we need to cover imminently? Well, one thing that hopefully won't happen while I'm out, hopefully I can get that resolved before I'm out, is the blue sky thing. I was pinging Chris this week, like, yay, finally it moved, because I mentioned last Friday that I escalated it. That worked. It got eyes on it. It got it to the right person who seems to be the same person as before, which was an important confirmation to make. And they asked how things had changed from when I opened it, because there's a cost when you add the new channels that goes down throughout the year because it's like prorated, since the cost is for the whole year and part of the year has passed. The cost is actually a little bit lower for the first year when you do it a little later in the year. So it's been going down. So they were asking me what that was. And I told them, and then they didn't respond.
Oh,
So, so
shit.
I'm planning to just create the I need to create one password like access to buffer for them. I do this every time. So I'm thinking it seems to be the same person as usual. So I'm just going to go ahead and create that. It only lasts a couple of days. So I'll try it today. It might not work. I might have to do it again on Monday. But I'll go ahead and get that person access and all the information that they need, having done this before, and hopefully they'll just go in and do it. Hopefully we'll get that resolved before I'm out. And then one thing you all could work on while I'm out is setting up the automation to make sure that Blue Sky is getting the same messages as everywhere else.
Which I had to make on a comment on a PR about.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, good. I know it looks bad, but it's coming.
Yeah. Also, I was looking at the analytics on Buffer from well, last week. I was looking, or a couple days ago, I was looking at them. We have some time. We might want to look at those. It is
Pulling
interesting.
them up. Oh.
Yeah. Interesting in a different way than I expected.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, are there any other new items or updates and big wins that are going on that folks are familiar with? Any work that folks are doing that you have updates on is welcome here. We also have the board where we'll go over stuff, but you're always welcome to bring up work here. So any new requests, new items going on in the community, or updates or big wins for anyone? That's good. Silence is good because I have not caught up on all of the messages from being out for a couple of days this week yet. So,
Yeah. Oh, wow.
that's good.
Yeah, I'm in here
Yeah.
looking at stats.
Uh-huh. You want to share your screen?
I can.
Let me make you a co-host. It's very interesting stuff. I feel like we should like publish a report yearly on like.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'm making you a co-host.
Thanks.
Yep, there you are.
Yes. Replace current share. Sure. Wow.
I just stopped the share, but too
Thank
late.
you. All right. Share. Oh, of course it puts the cameras right on my screen. All right. So audience
Can you
size.
zoom in on it a bit?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Or not.
FYI, folks, we did a overview of Buffer last meeting, 2 meetings ago, and
meeting.
this is the tool that we use to manage all of our various social media channels. So we have LinkedIn, Twitter, X, not Facebook or Instagram, even though those are on the side there. We also have Blue Sky and Mastodon in here, and so we get stats on like how those platforms are doing, which is cool. Not Blue Sky. We don't have Blue Sky in here yet. We were just talking about that. We will very shortly, hopefully.
So nothing interesting about audience size, right? Like 0.1%, no big deal. Impression spikes are always good. We had 2, one on the 24th, one on the 30th. That's interesting.
When presumably messages went out.
Yep. But when you scroll down, yeah, there's a per post.
Which
kind
account
of
is this? Or is this everything?
This is everything.
Okay.
So this is what it is interesting to me. Is this the same thing you were talking about, Caslin?
Probably, yeah. Because everything is up.
Everything is up and to the right. But the engagement rate on Kate's contributors on Twitter is through the roof, it looks like.
Yeah. That was very interesting. And if you look at if you go to Kate's contributors specifically and look at the follower graph, it is smooth. This is
total followers.
If you look at like the full year, you can do that and up.
Manage. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there. You can do custom.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
That's December of 2024.
I noticed.
I went back to January of last year.
They don't let you type in the boxes. That's annoying.
And the day
2.
2 day.
Just
Yeah.
do right now.
Look at those spikes
That
too. Like, what is that? I have no idea what that is.
83,000
April.
impressions?
In
Damn.
April. I have no idea what that is. We should go back and look at what we posted on that day. A similar
Yeah.
spike shows up in Kubernetes.io. Maybe it was the
Huh.
day that we killed Kubernetes.io.
Did we kill it? Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
But
about
anyway,
right.
the total followers graph, smooth.
Yeah, very nice.
Is
Oh,
that
wow.
nice though on X?
I know. So, just
It's
to let
interesting,
folks know,
for sure.
I've noticed literally none of the tech people have left Twitter wholly yet. There's more ongoing use of Twitter than there is escalating use of Blue Sky, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
It seems like.
that's what I'm seeing
So,
from this.
yeah.
If you go to Kubernetes.io, you can see something kind of similar. Kubernetes.io is a much larger follower account, so you can see Kubernetes or Kate's contributors is
Oh, it
like
did take a
13 and
hit, though.
14,000. Yeah, there was this huge hit in November. So when we were at KubeCon, we were like, "Oh wow, it's really good that
The
we
election.
went over to Blue Sky."
But now it's back
then
up.
it kind of went back up, and now it's back down again a bit. So this is a better indicator, but this is just the January. This is just 1 month. If you look at the bigger one,
No, this is
because this
the
is
custom date. Sorry.
oh, is it? Okay. So yeah. Oh yeah, because the beginning of the year was flat because it wasn't active. We
Mhm.
finally got
Yeah,
access
no
to
one
it.
touched it. Yeah.
And then it went up a little bit. But this is like a very condensed graph because this is 303,000 to 310,000 followers.
Right.
So like these
Um,
changes are not huge, actually, in terms of this account.
yeah, I mean, they are in the, less than 1,000 kind of thing
Yeah.
range.
Less than 1,000 within 300,000. So it's less than 1%. It's like 0.3%, right?
Yeah.
Was it 17th
Um,
April for Kate's contributors that spiked?
It was, yes. What did we post that day?
You will be surprised at what it was. I'm
Oh,
just
God.
pasting the link in the chat.
Oh, no.
I love that. Chris, share that screen.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
We need to tell Kat.
I'm going to tell her right now. Our most popular post last year.
Yeah.
How many impressions did it get?
Most crazy high compared to everything else. I don't remember, but it was very, very high. Another cool thing on the buffer analytics, by the way, is our LinkedIn stuff. The increase on LinkedIn last year, because we took over LinkedIn last year, is just madness. An
Love it.
unknown error has occurred. There's a last week in
You're-
Kubernetes development post that didn't go out, it looks like, on LinkedIn.
Oh, whoops.
I'm going to hit retry now on that, but
Yeah,
I'll
go
share my
ahead.
screen first. Window, this one, share. All right, I'm going to retry that. And then I'm going to go back to analytics and show LinkedIn. See our follower count way up. This is just for this month, though. Let's look at the last year. January to January. Look at that. 141,000% increase in impressions per post.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
Utterly
4,756%. clicks per post, 353% followers, 17.59 million % increase in impressions. Basically, no one looked at the LinkedIn account for Kubernetes before
No
we
one
took
looked
it
at
over.
LinkedIn for a long time.
Posts
The
increased.
12,500% is
Yeah, 125, 12,500%. Every post is 1,000% increase. That's how we're gonna say it.
the 17.6 million is impressive.
Yeah.
I noticed the M there. Yeah.
Yep, that's an M. But
Let's
yeah.
see.
So we should publish a report to say like people care about our social media presence, and it's really
Yeah.
wonderful that we get to do this. So
Did you try and do this? Nope. Never mind. Interesting.
do what?
Nothing.
All
Somebody
right.
tried to create a report.
I haven't tried to create a report yet.
I'm not sure how you
I don't think.
do it.
I mean, maybe
Oh, they're
I clicked the
updated
button.
every day. Ew. Okay.
We're gonna learn about buffer today. That's
Mhm.
what we're gonna do. So we are halfway through our meeting. Oh, Mario's in another meeting, but he says, Chris, we need to include this in our talk. I keep gunning you.
Yes.
For Mario.
Correct. That's why I'm making it
Not our talk.
now.
Yeah. You'll probably want to pull it closer to the event. I'm sure you'll have good data.
Oh, I
then.
know.
Though you might want just 2024 year
Mm-hmm.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
want to
making
work
it
on
now,
today.
but it's not a great report.
Yeah.
I have
I could work on
without wanting to open this can of worms again, but very, very briefly, if you can help me. I saw the PR around changing the links to the Blue Sky. I mean,
Mhm.
okay, fine. That's not the main thing. But I was
Yeah.
just thinking, was this the result of a wider discussion that happened somewhere else? And
Yes.
this, okay, because otherwise, I mean, I'm imagining someone opening a PR to change the links to Mastodon or whatever. I'm assuming that it's not just a matter of convincing the those in the approval list to go forward. So there was a wide discussion, and this was decided. Perfect. Thank you.
Mario, we removed it from the footers on both websites after very lengthy discussions in Slack.
Okay, so yeah, I remember the discussions in Slack. So those were the origin of this. Perfect. Thank
We
you.
agreed on adding Blue Sky, but we can't do that yet.
No, yeah, I followed the open PR.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought the discussion on Slack was, yeah, we would like to do that, but the website is broken.
Mhm. So yeah, we can't. Like I tried to hack a way around and bring in a new version of Font Awesome, and that didn't even work. It got overrode by Doxy's version. And for the developer site, I was able to put Mastodon on there, LinkedIn on there, and then just LinkedIn on case.io and remove Twitter.
Yeah, and Mario says in the chat that I thought we agreed on adding Blue Sky and changing the order, but
Oh.
maybe not.
Well,
removing
we've
it.
become the complaint department now for
yeah.
social media. So I don't know. Like I'm tired of defending Twitter. Does that make sense? Or X?
Yeah, it I mean, it does. I'm also risking belonging to that club,
Mhm.
which is it's very weird because I'm as for reasons that I've mentioned, I have no objection to actually leaving X because of a principle-based approach. My only concern up until this point is that I feel that the things are being done in a relatively let's say impulsive way that leaves some room for in the near future if something happens with Blue Sky or whatever, there can be questions on why did you do this back then and now we're not doing that. Why is that behavior worse than this one that we're going through now?
Exactly.
And yeah, I mean, that's my only concern. Not leaving X. I don't care particularly about X. Just that the discussions that we're having, I suppose that it's good for them to be, I mean, there, and that we can point people that eventually ask around what was the actual process of doing this. Should in the near future something motivate someone to propose a similar change to some other network, and that's
So
it.
we're not leaving Twitter. I want to make that
Yeah,
abundantly
yeah,
clear.
you're removing the visibility from the
Footers.
and yeah,
Mainly because like we had 3 people join the comms channel last week to discuss that very same aspect. So
okay, but yeah, let me be devil's advocate.
sure,
If I arrange 5 different people to go into comms for us to leave Blue Sky because I believe that Blue Sky is censoring a certain hashtag, and that goes against the principles of free speech, will that lead to a PR to remove Blue Sky? You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that this is happening.
I don't think anyone's
Let's
complained.
keep this offline. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm only to be absolutely clear. I'm perfectly okay with the idea. I just feel that it can be reasonably weaponized if it's not clear enough that we follow a certain procedure, and if it's just based on someone joined and said and etc. I mean, I fear that that can lead to some unclarity in the future. But maybe I'm just being a bit of a stickler about it. In the end,
I don't
this
think
should
you are.
reflect the community consensus, like lazy consensus, and perhaps the lazy consensus in the people that have joined the community and that work with us is that this is a good move. So maybe we should. I mean, if someone objects, I suppose that they will voice their objection and we can address them there. But yeah.
So yeah.
Mario also said in chat that he felt that no consensus was reached. Wanted to say that out loud. Why was the PR merge?
Yeah,
So let's
sorry.
see. I need to find. No, go ahead.
So basically, if it was removed, it should not have been removed, because I looked it just up in both threads. There was like, yes, those PRs have been raised and yada yada yada, and we discussed it, but it was not like that everyone was like, yeah, we are now changing it towards it. And honestly, it was like, we need to list all of the social media accounts, so it doesn't make sense to just remove them. And if there's a PR open, as far as I know, but if it was removed, then why this was merged? To be honest, because on Kubernetes.dev it's still in, and I agree that we keep it. I'm on the side that we keep it in, because but we just add other, and this was also what I think steering also agreed on. And I'm a little bit, yeah, I don't know. This is feelings of individuals, to be put it bluntly.
I can't load the Slack right now for some reason. That's fun. But there's been, I know I've commented on 2 or 3 different.
Yeah, one discussion wasn't steering. The longer discussion wasn't steering. And I was basically, the last thing that I wrote there was, we had a blah, blah, blah. We had guidelines. The decision was to keep X as the biggest channel. Also linked to CNCF discussion. prioritization. There was I think Josh brought it up that maybe it would make sense to prioritize X down. But prioritizing X down doesn't mean I remove X from the bar.
Maybe I
mean,
got
yeah.
overzealous on getting shit done, but I know me personally, I'm very tired of dealing with people's feelings. No offense to the people, but I'm very tired of dealing with this
No,
problem.
I understood.
And
Yeah.
if removing a social icon from the footer is going to make many people happy, I'm okay with that. That's just me. We're still going to use it. We're still going to post to it. It's just not on the footer. Hence, deprioritized. Maybe too deprioritized. I'll admit that.
I mean,
we should talk about this more on Slack, probably.
Yeah.
Mario?
Maybe we should have like a page where we list, because we
So-
have a page
I've-
in community where we basically have Learn and Connect, and there's YouTube, forum, server fault, and LinkedIn, and all. Maybe we should add all of the social media
Yeah,
channels there.
we do. So Josh Burkus mentioned he wanted to add that, and I was waiting on a reply back from him if he'd worked on it at all. I think at this point we can just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, but not this side, the other one. There's also
I
a
know.
/community.
So
There's
we
this
need to make the community pages similar as far as content,
Yeah,
and then source it from one place.
yeah.
I find it funny that LinkedIn is on here. Like, when was that added?
I think that was back in the CNCF days, was it not?
Maybe. It's funny, though, that it doesn't have LinkedIn here, like in words.
Yeah,
It has YouTube.
there's a lot of weird
Just
stuff.
the LinkedIn icon.
That's all you
The
need.
funny thing is when you scroll down,
Websites.
you still have X. So someone removed X.
Someone
And if you,
removed-
Feed here.
I removed
scroll-
X from
No,
the
if you-
footers.
yeah, but if you there's the X feed, and if you scroll up a little bit, there's X as well.
I don't think these pages have been touched in years, to be honest. Wait. Scroll down to the videos. Weekly community meetings. We haven't done one of those in years.
Yeah, we are the arbiters of this consistency. It will not get done. There's no one to save us but ourselves. Our pit.
Yep. So I have a concern. Like, if we are going to remove the Twitter logo from the footer, so this is like me. If I want to convince myself that okay, if I am on a platform and this account is legitimate, like if I am looking at the Kubernetes account, I am a new person who is trying to go through it, and I want to convince myself like, okay, this is a legitimate account that Kubernetes owns. So I go to the Kubernetes website, I check whether that particular social is listed over there or not. But if we are going to remove it from the footer, then if someone wants to if someone want to confirm like whether that account is owned by us or not, how we are going to prove it.
Yeah, in a world without verification. We are the arbiters of that as well.
Yeah, like I found an account on Blue Sky with the name Kubernetes, but there are two more accounts which are owned by us. But the third one is not owned by us. I also asked that in the Slack to confirm.
We do have the login information for that account, actually. I never did
Oh,
go
we
in
do?
and get rid of it. I think so. I think he sent me that email, but it was
I thought-
during KubeCon, so it
Yeah.
kind of.
I thought you reached out but never heard back, but yeah, apparently you
We
responded.
reached out, didn't hear back for a long time. Finally did hear back. He was pinging me while we were at KubeCon trying to meet up, and we didn't manage to do that. He was like, I'll just send you the info over an email and you can fix it. And then I never did fix it because it was KubeCon. So we do have access to that Blue Sky account. We should fix that.
Yeah.
But yes, this is also a very good point.
Like
Worth
It is a good point, but
my
I will point out the potential flaw in that
like
model
my
of
only
using a
concern
website
is
for verification.
yeah. Actually, my only concern is like if I go on the Twitter and I created an account by the name of Kubernetes, and if like we decide to remove the logo from the footer, then I can create an account in the name of Kubernetes and do anything with it. Because now there's not a legitimate account. How will someone figure out which one is legitimate and which one is not?
Yeah. Point taken. I think we can fix this stuff offline.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll discuss further about what we should do with the websites and how we get all of our various social media accounts properly displayed there. We need a bunch of social media process documents anyway, so we should probably create some.
Ugh.
We were talking about how we can't really create a process document for like at what point do we leave a platform because of moral reasons, because moral reasons are just too ambiguous. You can't really write that into a process. But but we can probably write something about like if we own these accounts, we put them in
Well,
social media
yeah,
stuff, and then we would
I-
have something to
the
fall
Debian
back on
project
for this.
just issued a statement saying that we've left X because we feel that X does not represent the values that the Debian
our
project
community.
represents.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's it. How do I assume things were done? There was a certain meeting at the Debian project, central committee or whatever you want to call it. And that was decided, and it was enacted, which is fine. Again, and that's absolutely clear. My only concern was more around this. We've discussed it, but it wasn't completely clear. But now we have a PR, but we're not removing, but it's deprioritized. It's a story that can be hard to tell to someone if this leads to any kind of discussion that gets people's attention for some reason.
Also, when I searched for Debian leaving X,
Let me go block that guy.
Doubles down on wokeness is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell?
it's
The one
something.
thing that we could do is if we like leave a platform, instead of removing the logo of the platform from the footer, we could link the logo to that leaving post. So if anybody go to the platform via our website, they immediately know that they are not going to maintain this platform anymore. And if somebody wants to go through earlier posts and want to verify that these posts were legitimate at that time, they can still go back to the website and see that, yeah, at least the account is legitimate, but they are not posting anymore. Maybe that can be a compromise between the two options.
I mean, do we now want to leave X or not? Because to be honest, it's still our biggest end user channel.
That's
And
no
that's-
longer resonating with people, though.
And by the way,
But
I'm okay with
that's-
leaving if it's up for because of principles. I'm perfectly fine with doing it, even if we have 99% of followers in X. My point is that we haven't really codified anything that can be applied to any other stuff. But I'll shut up about this. Apologies for opening up this can of worms. I think this will take up every single minute that we have in all meetings if we continue to discuss this.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm going to be out for 2.5 weeks in a week.
I will say this. I'm not going to listen to complaints about which social networks are on the footers because it's not consistent even now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if a lot of folks are pinging me personally, can we take this down? And there's a general consensus in Slack that,
Yeah,
yeah, we should do that.
I'm not opposed to that.
Remember that we do
I mean,
represent 90,000 people.
the
Right.
problem is that there are PRs that are basically removing X not only from the footer but from the whole website, even the community listing ones. And the last state in the Slack discussion was we get all of our socials actually listed on the site, and then folks will even shift more to other platforms. So the last consensus where no one spoke against it, and there's a +1 on this, was list all of the channels. And there are PRs that are now removing this, which is going against this discussion. And sorry, but this is not the way how it should be.
Well, I mean, Mario, if you have that visibility and that position, maybe you should voice it in the PRs.
I wrote
Yeah.
it in the PRs now.
Perfect. Yeah, that's it. I think that's because in the end, maybe those that have an opinion and want to move things forward, I think they are completely within their rights of actually doing that. And if there's no resistance, let's call it like that, I think it's okay to go forward. If there is, then I'm sure that will be discussed and we can find whatever is the best solution for this.
We have 7 minutes left. So that discussion will continue on GitHub and Slack, and again in this meeting for as long as humans shall exist. And we are going to move over into our board. So we'll do a quick review of the ready for review stuff in the few minutes that we have. Ready for review, buffer access audit. This must be one of those that is a stale issue that we were going to do July of 2024. So it's been put into our ready for review as a, hey, are you all doing this? And we had discussed it and decided, if more people want to contribute to buffer, I'm all for it.
Right.
Everybody has approval needed access. Most people have forgotten that they have access at all. But if they wanted to get involved, I would encourage it. It's not like they can mess anything up because they would need approval on anything that they did. So we pretty much decided to just kind of leave it as it is for now when we last discussed this. So I might be fine with this being left as closed, not planned. What do you think, Chris? Do you want to reopen it and address it in the next couple of months?
No, I think we went over it and
go?
came to the conclusion we're okay with having folks with non-posting directly access, right?
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, like not editor or something, but something else.
We should ideally have processes where we grant higher privileges to like the release comms lead and maintainer summit comms leads regularly and then revoke those regularly. But that's not really what this is about. So I'm going to move that to won't fix. We can always revisit that. Always optional. Policy working group spotlight. This is a Rougevals. Yeah, and Rougeval, this is open in contributor site, and the discussion was saying that it needs to also be open on Kubernetes.io, and then it got kind of left there a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to put a ping, any updates here. Cool. SIG etcd spotlight article.
Yep. It's good to go. It's work in progress tag was removed, opened in both contributor site and website. And I've pinged SIGDoc's blog for an approval.
Awesome. Moving along as usual.
It's planned to be released in next week. If it's not reviewed on time, I'll bump it 1 week.
That works. Thank you for shepherding that along and getting it done.
My pleasure.
Awesome as usual. And this is 2 items for the SIG CD Spotlight, so that seems like it's in good shape. We have 4 minutes left. There's a lot of stuff in progress. I know that we have Arpit on the call who has a couple of blogs in progress. Arpit, do you want to go ahead and give your updates?
Yeah. So I have submitted the steering one that is for review. Also, I am working on the new contributor guide because I have recently had a talk on a similar topic. So I grabbed that opportunity to write that one out. Now I have one doubt. Like I am working on this, but I feel this is a bit long. Here's the link. So I have like searched and I have 2 solutions. Either we can divide this blog into 2 parts, or we can create a Git book out of it.
Cute. I like your background on your slides. This is nice. Long blog post too.
Yeah, like it is based on the new contributor orientation session. So that's a 1 hour long session. So this blog is also like kind of long. So uh,
Well
yeah,
done.
like
Get it all written
uh,
out.
how to like take it? Whether I should like divide it into 2 parts, or should we create a Git book, or should we like post this blog as it is? Like it's a long one. So yeah.
I think splitting it would be the way, definitely. If we were going to put it on Kubernetes IO, I would split it into at least 3 probably with the length of this, probably 4 or 5 if we could, depending on how we can, if we can find some good points to split it. But for Kates.dev, we're a little bit more flexible, I think. I do still think it'd be good to split it up if we're going to post it as a blog in Kubernetes Kates.dev. We could also like make a page for this, but we already have like a bunch of
Like
contributor stuff.
like
So
this is a guide, right? So if I don't know, we
Mhm.
can also like publish it as a book, like a free book,
It's
of course,
also
ebook
yeah, it's also
kind of
time
thing.
boxed though, is the thing. That's the thing with tech books is they get out of date immediately. So I like the idea of a blog because of the time boxedness of it. It's like this is relevant for this year. The book, I mean, if you
Like
want to make it
for
into a
the
book, I'm not going to
for book,
complain.
I have to like remove the time box things, like the current work opportunities, like those are related. But
Mhm.
apart from the current work opportunities, like most of the things will be relevant for upcoming years as well. Like what is Kubernetes is not going to change, and the Slack community structure is not going to change. There are a couple of things that are not going to change, but like the current work opportunities and like these things, like the work opportunities, I think that that's the only section that will be like time box, like this is open now and that could be changed in upcoming years. So we can remove it and then convert it into a guide or something. Like the only concern I have is like if we post this long form content, then is anyone going to read it? Like people have like really thought a span of attention. So yeah.
I don't know, I kind of like it. I should probably, I don't know, read through it. Anyone else have any opinions about publishing the new contributor orientation content in a text form? In any kind of text form? I'm up for it. Honestly, with the book thing, I think you can, it's really easy to self-publish books these days, and all tech books get out of date immediately, so that might lower its audience, but doesn't inhibit it from being published if it's good content, which I mean, it's basically the stuff that we have in the new contributor orientation stuff, which I think is good. So
Yep.
I'm not against it.
Like what
Get that
I
book
see it
credit.
like, yeah. Like what I see it like, I want it to be a kind of a permanent resource in the community.
Yeah.
So I am like focusing on that part. Like it should be available, and because it is too long, like when I am like proofreading it, I found like it is very long. So that is what like I am asking for suggestions. Like should we split it up?
Yeah.
We can convert it into an ebook, a Git book also, but Git book is paid, I guess.
Yeah, and we're a couple minutes over. We should discuss this more in Slack. I am out starting in a week, so it might take a long time to get this reviewed. In the meantime, I think go ahead for the blog approach and like split it up because that's not going to inhibit you from doing anything else. So you could go ahead and make progress on that, and then it would be out there in the world. And then we can discuss more what a regular maintained long-term existing thing would look like. I could see this, we could add it to the new contributor orientation kind of program. Like we have that GitHub repo where we define what new contributor orientation is and what the roles are with like if you're helping to lead one, what you do. Also looks like you're super ready to present it for February. Thank you very much for taking that on. um But I think the one thing that sticks in my mind is, like, these ones with numbers on them. Um, those will get out of date, and we'll update them for the content, and if we have to update them in a whole bunch of different places, it's not gonna happen for some of them. So we should think about if there's a way that we can update these in a consistent place, and if we can make that easier on ourselves somehow. But we should discuss it more in Slack. We're 3 minutes over. Are there any other
Let's go.
big things that folks want to mention or talk about? Before we go for the day, I really want to thank you all for participating in this today. I know the social media thing, it has a lot of feelings and it can be hard to talk about, but I appreciate that we are willing to have those conversations with each other, even if they aren't comfortable. It's really important when we own something that's so big and represents such a big community that we care about it, and we obviously do. So thank you all for participating in that conversation, and we'll work together to do the best we can.
Absolutely. Great way to end the week. Great words. Thank you very much. And see you in a month or so, right? You're on vacations?
Yeah, I will be out until the week of February 24th. I'll be back.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Take care and have a great weekend, everyone. Cheers.
Thanks for joining. All right. I should probably hop onto my other meeting. It's not. Oh, wait. I should actually stop the recording. Bye, YouTube.